Hello and welcome, my dear friend.
Hello, I can say merhaba, huh? I
Wow.
can say merhaba, all my friends. Gaia, you are one of my dearest friends. And hello to all the Turkish people and friends that I have. How are you doing?
Wonderful. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Mine too.
You know, when you are working with your friends,
Yes.
And that person is also a colleague, it's just delight.
Love it too. I know. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes, thank you joining us and giving us time to our channel to share information, share your knowledge with people, and we will be talking a lot today. So I think it will be worth to listen because I love your perspective personally.
Thank you.
So I know that you have a lot to tell us.
Yes, we are mainly going to talk about Pallas Athena, which of course this year is very, very active, and is a research I'm doing to see another perspective, as you say. But also we are going to see what's currently happening. So we are going to unite everything together, combine everything together.
Exactly. Because if you watched our channel, Istar Turkey channel, you'll see a variety of dear speakers, very successful speakers, talking about Saturn in Aquarius. And the Saturn in Aquarius is also related to our current situation, but not only Saturn. Obviously, we were keeping it basic, but now today we want to talk about in a broader perspective. So
I'm going to say something about Saturn.
Yeah.
So, first of all, just keep in mind that in 2020, at least, Saturn is very, very strong in either position, whether it's in Capricorn or now that it is, but it's now retrograde and returning back to Capricorn, or whether it's in Aquarius. These are, traditionally the two signs that is ruling. So you see this year, Saturn is doing its own, let's say, plays its own role. Mm-hmm. But the first phase that it showed was not that good. I mean, for all of us, that was collectively, of course. The fact that the first aspect that formed was the one with Mars, and it was in zero degree, which is, this aspect can be, well, you can say not a good aspect traditionally, but actually it showed us, that you have to take your action in a very productive way. But actually what it did at the beginning, it gathered everybody and stay home through the coronavirus. But that was another way to see ourselves and see how can we stand our lives and where are we going. We had a chance to see other aspects of our lives that, due to action and everyday life, we didn't have the time to see them.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder, are you also experiencing some kind of increasing amount of work since Saturn in Aquarius? Because this is how I experienced Saturn in Aquarius. How did you experience? And I want to hear anything you want to tell me.
Yeah, the truth is that the way of working changed a lot. And this had to do with the digital kind of work. But I want to say that astrologers were well prepared. I think we were already working with that. We knew all the programs like Zoom or Skype or whatever. Exactly. So for us, it was we are ahead, ahead of our times. So for us, it was a bit more easy. For the rest of the world, they were introduced in a new way of working, and that is without the physical contact, and it was through digital form now.
Yes.
Which, of course, since we are going to have this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, I'm going to explain something about that. At the end of the year, it means that it opened this cycle through Mars. We've learned it the hard way, let's say. It was a forced way to learn that.
Yeah.
And from the end of the year, this is like entering a new era, which is going to be through internet, digitalized, and not very close to each other, not with a physical form.
Yeah. How do you see in longer plan?
So for 2020, let's say there are lots of things that we are prepared for. You know, I have repeatedly said that this is the year during which and democracy and the personal and collective freedoms are going to be challenged.
Yeah.
And this is what is already happening. And, you know, I have parallelized or compared, let's say, this year as the final days of the Trojan War, and the COVID-19 was the Trojan horse. Because for so many years, and with Pluto in Capricorn, I'll tell you, difficult situations worldwide have started.
Yeah.
But it turns out that after so many years, nothing have actually happened. Nothing that it's real. And before we go to another era, this year we have to be very careful about not only looking at who is governing us, but we have to be also very active to this. And our opinion and voice has to be heard. And to tell you the truth, this is how I went through Pallas, because Pallas is an asteroid. Of course, someone can say that it can be interpreted as a supportive role. But if you look closer, she's actually a key, player. Because Pallas Athena, for the ancients, she was, and I'm talking about the Athenians, right?
Yeah.
She was this goddess that didn't like war. She is a warrior goddess, definitely, but she doesn't like to go. She likes to find solutions before, attacking. And it gives you this wisdom to understand and take more strategic decisions.
Yeah.
So she is a voice. If somebody can understand that, sometimes we say that we have a guardian angel and we hear a voice. This voice is Pallas, because she will give you the advice and she will not force you to take that. She will tell you that's the solution. If you want, you can listen to me and take action. If not, it's up to you what's going to happen next to you.
Yeah, whether or not you are going to that route,
Yeah. Well, we'll see in the myths, she appears suddenly and say, you know what, this is what you have to do. Well, if you listen to me, you're going to be a hero. If you don't listen to me, destruction will come. Yeah. So that's the year. So, and also we can see Pallas is the, the influencer. The people that are talking, we see people talking and telling you, these are the influencers. Can you see Pallas as an influencer of Instagram, let's say? Well, she is. Kim Kardashian has an exact opposition of her sun in Libra to Pallas in Aries.
Really?
She's an influencer, yeah.
Oh my God, I will check this more often.
Yes, definitely. So let's say a little bit about the current situation. We do have, this shift of the lunar nodes from Sagittarius to Gemini. And we have the retrograde Venus with Neptune, and Mars is there. So we do have all this square of Neptunian energies and new hope. And it's a break. A cosmic break, and we may think that everything is over, but actually it's a preparational stage, and we do have to see within ourselves and our lives. And, as we had conversation with the two of us earlier, something has to be sacrificed. But in reality, the dilemmas that we are facing, what we have to sacrifice is not something from ourselves like good ones. I have to be, to lower my expectations or lower my self-confidence. I have to sacrifice what's blocking my, my self-satisfaction.
Yes.
Not in
It's
egotistic.
unnecessary. Yes.
Yeah, the unnecessary. And
Yeah.
that's not egotistical, if the word is correct. I don't know in English. So, and I see this, the shift, whether it's a true notes or me notes, depending on how somebody, counts the notes.
Yeah.
In any case, the shift, we can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And this lunar eclipse that is happening on June 5th is already working. It's not the ahead, it's the before. Exactly. It's working already.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever is happening, I mean, transition wise, it's always felt prior to the actual happening. So yeah, you are right.
But the trap is that this one, sorry, I have to say the traps too. Yeah. There are two more following that are in a different axis. We have in the solar eclipse in the 0 degree of Cancer, and then we have the lunar eclipse in Capricorn and Cancer. So this one, the first one, because they're in a row and because they are different, it means that the work is not over. And once this eclipse is, over, there is going to be a curtain that opens, and we will see in the back. Oh, there's more.
Okay, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
The curtain analogy is interesting,
Yes, and I do love when, that's why I love astrology, when same degrees you see being repeated again and again and again. Something is happening over there. Something is happening there.
Yeah, I wonder.
Behind the curtain, I see that in the first, 6 months, and it's not only 6 months, it's working a while. It's working a while. So we did have all these new cycles in the sign of Capricorn, and definitely I want to say that, like Pallas Athena, it's not, this is not something random that happened, accidental. So in the English chart, let's say, of Jupiter in Capricorn, Athena Pallas was conjuncting at 10th degree. Listen to the degrees. 10th degree of Sagittarius with the Sun. And then when Athena Pallas ingressed in the sign of Capricorn, then Mars was in at the 10th degree of Sagittarius, same degree. So this is the combination that we have, combining all these eclipses and the axes that are changing. And while she did have these cycles that started with Mars, because there's going to be a conflict. There is a conflict of power. Who is leading? Who is the first? And there is a warrior, climate inside us, in our relationships, in everywhere. And I think that Pallas was trying to have, support her father Jupiter. So with these cycles, she tried to have an alliance with Mars. So this is the first one that we had. She was involved in the triple conjunction with Jupiter and Pluto. And all 3 times that we have during this year, the conjunctions of Jupiter and Pluto, Athena Pallas is right there, exact degrees, all 3 times. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's acting with whatever is hot spot, Yeah,
she's always there trying, be reasonable, be reasonable. So during Mars, because, all planets were gathered in within 90 degrees, no, it was from Capricorn to Taurus, sorry. So we had this trine, and it was with Venus and Moon in Taurus. All this trine that it had, all the planets together, this was a time of unity, trying to work all together. So that's the message. If we're trying for a message, we have to help each other. We have to change the perspective that we see. And that perspective is the lunar nodes that from Sagittarius to Gemini. Try to find the information. Be more selective to what you listen to. And you have to change your beliefs also, the belief system. Don't be so, narrow-minded. Sagittarius does that. It's
Yeah.
not only open-minded, it's very narrow-minded.
Yes.
So let's say that Pallas Athena tried to bring her grandpa back. That's what I say, that we
Grandpa.
had this conjunction of Mars and Saturn. Wow, this was heavy. And so Athena Pallas entered in the sign of Aquarius, said, Grandpa, come back. We haven't finished the job. You have to come back to Capricorn.
I like that.
And that's the second stage of the year, the 6 months, the rest of the 6 months. So there is what's very difficult and hard later is when we're going to have the squares between Pallas Athena and Mars, because Mars in the sign of Aries is very looking at the self. Okay, I know that, it's the best placement, we say, because the qualities are what Aries has and share with Mars. But actually, when it's in a transit for so long, it means that everyone will try to do its own, what they want for themselves. They do not actually see what's the interest of the others. And this is how the conflicts are starting. And twice there's going to be a square. One time it's going to be Pallas Athena is going to be retrograde and Mars is going to be direct. But, see, I have the dates. I can remember all the dates. But at the end of October, October is going to be a difficult month.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, because during October, there's going to be also Pluto. We're going to have Pluto Mars is going to be from September, October, November. We're going to have this Pluto Mars energy, which, is looking for changing the way you are acting. There's you have to die and reborn again, what you're doing. But it's actually very, very strong aspect, and it's forceful. So again, wisdom has to be used. And at the end of the year, we are going to have, Pallas is chasing Saturn, can come into contact with Saturn. Because as I told you, it's strong. Saturn is very, very strong, very powerful. And it's giving her a hard time to make an ally. And this is going to be at the end of the year. And this is at the last degree of 28 degree of Capricorn. This happens every 6 years, this conjunction of Pallas and Saturn.
That's interesting.
And try. This is going to be in Capricorn. In Aries is going to be in 2026, in another 6 years. But actually, she wants to reason Saturn. I don't have the power for myself. I have to be very involved in the community, in my relationships. I have to be not only supportive, I have to think what I accept in my life. So have power over my, instincts, over my desires, over things that don't help me, don't serve me and the society as a whole. So after that, Jupiter and Saturn can conjoin together at 0 degree of Aquarius. So this is where things are changing.
Yes. What do you think Jupiter and Saturn is keeping for us? I mean, yes.
Yeah. So the preparational stage here is what's going to give the good or the bad things. Because now I'm telling you about the reasoning. It's now that we have to understand that your good is my good too. If things are going good for you, and if we unify, if we are working together, we can go way ahead. If we leave the power to others, then everything is going to be digitalized. We won't have any freedom. Don't expect, if you're not supportive in your community, freedoms are eliminated. That's why I said that this Saturn Mars conjunction was not good. Didn't show good signs. So we have to change this conjunction. Why did it happen? and what's hidden behind that. So after that, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction can give a lot of good things, but it's changing the world. You know, thinking of others a lot, unifying together, being in groups. That's the good part. The negative part might be that there is going to be an isolation, not feelings involved, working, too far away from each other.
Exactly.
But that's the future. Yeah, we're going ahead.
Yeah, that's the future. You're right. Aquarius has a shadow side, as every planet and every sign has. And you know very well, as an astrologer, we see Aquarius with that shadow side. It's kind of this group is, yes, we can group, we can be together, but we need to be, like-minded.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking
not follow.
Yeah. The necessity to be like-minded. So it's kind of maybe creating problems. Let's unite, but what kind of unity, What do you think about it?
Yes, what I'm thinking is always we have to work in pairs. I mean, when we are in the era of Aquarius, we have to use the opposite side with Leo and be in a group, but I have to have my own personality. Do not lose my personality in that. Yeah. So that's the axis, okay? So using both sides. But then in the meantime, that we are talking about Mars in Aries, there is a strong leadership tendency. So if we are going to unite all together, who is going to be leading us? And it's not only universal, it's also in a personal level. I mean, who's leading me? Is it a person? Is it my desires? Is it that I have learned like this from my parents? Is it my beliefs that, well, my beliefs are very narrow-minded, as I said before, because of this eclipse axis that is changing. So what's leading me? What's the leading force? Why do I want to go ahead and how?
Interesting.
So there are things that had to be prepared. That's why I'm going step by step, because there are also always two doors to open.
Yes.
So in order to choose the door, we have to have information before that are going to help us make the wise choice. Exactly. So Pallas Athena is working really hard. Wow. Really hard this year.
It's like a common sense voice. You're right.
Yes, there is a voice that speaks to us. Not going, like, now I'm going to know what I'm going to do. No, please, look ahead. Look ahead, because she's going to be in Aquarius later, after the end of the year. And Aquarius is a place that she works really well. And women, I'm sorry for that. Sorry for men. Women, there is a female power. Female power gives another perspective, which is not only conquering and fighting. So that's the goddess that shows us the strategic. You can win in another way. It has to be with your mind, with cleverness. Be smart. Know what when you are acting in a way, you have to think that it's not only because you are looking at your interest and my ego, so I'm going to attack to you. No, there are other ways to see. Slowly.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a feminine, common sense voice rising that we feel. Not every man is like that.
No.
Every woman is just,
Well, you know what? If you look among men, there are men that really are really sensitive, and sensitive, I mean, in the mind and in the heart. But there are other men who do not let them go ahead, so they are blocking them too. So
actually what you say is the healthy masculine energy and healthy feminine energy, maybe.
Yes.
What I interpret.
Yes. This energy that is going to be the Martian energy, that's going to, it is also already strong. You see also the eclipses that are happening now. We see that we say that it's Neptunian, but there is a Mars involved.
Mm-hmm.
So Mars can do its, damage through
Yeah.
Pisces too, or through Neptune too.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's weak. It's more passive, or it can work underground, can
Mm-hmm.
work in another way, but it's gonna find its way.
Exactly. Can work subtle but effective. Yes.
Yeah, effective. So
Yeah.
it's working. Oh, Mars is working really, really hard, and these last, 6 months of the year are going to be the strongest. I don't know whether it's going to be through again coronavirus, or going to be definitely economics, definitely.
Mm.
So because economy, it's the new god. It's
Yeah.
become the new god, and everything goes around economy.
Exactly. um, what I sense is the COVID also related to, the stages, creation of it. It's related to economy. It's on purpose. It's my personal opinion. I'm
There
sure
is
you
a Pluto,
agree with
yes.
me.
There is a Pluto involved there, right?
It's created, but there are good sides of it that we can benefit and we can grow out of it. So
Exactly.
yeah. Do you want to give a general message, that something coming from your heart that you want to tell, besides the numbers, besides the planetary placements?
There is a word, and I'm sure you do know it. You're going to explain it better. It has to do with hubris. Hubris, isn't it in English?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's the word of the year.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's the word. I mean, I cannot say anything else about this year except from that. Punishment will come if you think that you're above
Oh,
all the cosmic laws and all the ethical laws and all the laws of the world.
wow. Hubris. Yes.
Yes, I don't know how it's in English. I know it's in Greek.
Kind of
Ivris. So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of feeling superior, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest sin.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful advice. Okay, great. So the also shift of lunar nodes tells me the same thing, what you say about hubris. So the north node is Gemini. It says go to the public, go to,
Yes.
because Sagittarius kind of feels like superior or academic, or I'm seeing the truth, something
Exactly.
like that. But we have to now share the information, share the knowledge. That's personally what I get from the Saturn in Aquarius process, and I think it will be now overload also. That's the shadow side too. We
Yes.
will be sharing a lot, like live streams, everywhere
Yes,
popping
I
up.
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's that the shadow side is like you have, and that's the trap that I say.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful
Mm.
of where you get the information. I mean, you have to be able to prepare yourself and know who might tell you things that are standing
Mm-hmm.
and things that are not standing. And you do understand what I mean by standing.
Explain a bit.
The correct. It's the correct. It's the
Yeah.
ortho.
Yeah.
Standing. There is a gravity behind that. No, I think I'm using Greek expressions and that are not in English. There is some, heaviness from the back.
Yeah, I got the meaning.
Yes. So it doesn't have to be the academic
Mm-hmm.
in the form that even the scientists disagree.
With each other, yeah.
Yeah. They disagree among them, and one says, "Oh, I am better than you." Oh, the other, and people are like, "Oh, if he's a scientist, he knows what he's talking about." But actually, a lot of them are doing just predictions. They say for the astrologers that we are on the air and doing predictions,
Yeah.
but excuse me, but
Good
they are also doing predictions on the air.
point. Yeah, on TV we are watching the predictions of doctors lately. You're right.
Yeah. So it's according to what they believe, according to their previous experience. Everything has to do with what they already know, but knowledge and truth, and that Sagittarius, it's the actual truth. It's something that it is there, but we don't want to see it, or we cannot understand it. There is a higher truth to everything.
Yeah.
well, but we stick to our own truth,
Oh,
trapped in
yeah.
there.
Wow.
You see, I keep talking about traps, right?
Yes.
Yes. Because I want to see the good side of Neptune, which is like, let yourself, allow for other things to come, connect.
Mm-hmm.
That's the side of Neptune, but it's very hard and difficult for people in reality and practical to trust.
Mm-hmm. We were talking with Ihsan Kazeni, you know Ihsan?
Yeah.
He said there's a futurist, a planner of future, you know, a predictor of future, you know, futurists.
Yes.
This futurist that Ihsan says, talks about, telling that the majority of future jobs in 30 years we will need, we don't know them yet. They don't exist.
Yes.
What do you think?
Okay. Yes, I totally agree with Ihsan. I call him Ihsan.
Yeah.
Ihsan.
I
Okay.
call Turkish Ihsan, you know.
Ihsan. So that's the correct one. I'm trying to always tell him Ihsan. In the beginning, I say Ihsan. No, it's Ihsan. And I miss him. He couldn't come to Athens on September, unfortunately. And it's true like this, because everything like is going to change to things that the reality is there, but we are stuck to old traditional things and beliefs, and we don't allow now ourselves. There's a fear for that there's going to be something else that we're going to need, or the future is going to be different. So for the older people is hard. For the younger, though, it's not. So the separation that we see, is the Saturn Pluto that we had on January, showed us that even for COVID, it's worse for the elder.
Yeah.
So it was attacking the elder. So the ones that are stuck in the past and in tradition, and they have older forms of beliefs, you know, it is hard for them. It's not easy to adapt in the new situations. But for the younger people are more open-minded, and they are ready to accept. Wrong word, yeah. Accept.
We are cool. One Greek, one Turkish, huh?
Yeah, three languages. Yes, three languages. We think in three languages like right now.
Exactly. We are doing our best.
I'm trying to learn Turkish, to tell you the truth.
Wow, we can work together.
Oh, yes. Please, because you know I'm older now, and I constantly forget the words, but I go back.
I can't hear that part. I can't hear that part.
I constantly, yeah. You do. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. Would you like to add something lastly? Is there anything?
I think I have covered everything in short words.
Yes.
But, you know, there is a closure when I want to say, yes, I forgot that. Sorry, you see, you're right. I talked about the 10th degree of Sagittarius, where with the ingress, you know, of Jupiter and Pallas when it was in Capricorn. So this 10th degree is going to be, again, triggered through an eclipse at the end of the year. So it's going to be around, you know, there is Antares. Antares.
Yes. Yes,
Antares is instead of Aries. Yes, instead of Aries, because anti in Greek also means against or instead. There are several, you know, ways that you can interpret it. So there was the fight, the Martian energy, but now at the end of the year, I think a lot of things are going to stop being the way we see them now. So an ending, I see an ending at the end of the year. Okay. An ending, you do understand. Even for the COVID, I don't know if there's going to be a vaccine. It's called vaccine, yeah. And they're looking for a vaccine. Why they should be working on finding a treatment, a cure. Okay, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Cure. Cure. The words that they were using were wrong. It's a cure. You have to be able to find a way to cure it. So after that, as from the next year, the energy changes entirely, because we're gonna have the Uranus-Saturn square.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different. So, which is very liberating for me. you can see the difficulty of the aspect as a square, you see. But I want to see it as a liberating from old forms and old things that are keeping us in the past.
I totally agree about liberating. It's already started. So
Yes.
yeah.
But you have to be prepared. So see this year as a year of preparation.
Mhm.
I mean, now it started from the 2019, it's not new, but this year we see it because we were saying, we're talking about preparation in 2019. I don't think anybody was able to understand what we were talking about.
Mhm.
And in 2020, it's right there. And you don't have the chance or the luxury of time to just say, okay, I'm going to leave it for later. So it tells you now.
Yes.
Now you have to do it.
Exactly. I feel that pressure too. It's always now. Do you feel that?
Yes,
Now.
yes.
Do it, do it. It's Lord of the Time cliche.
Yes, no luxury of time. That's it. No, now you have to work it. You see it, do it, do something.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So that's it, the year.
Perfect. A lot of things that we touched. So there are more to tell about this subject. I hope we can come together again
Okay.
soon,
This
Angela.
is what I want to tell. I hope you invite me once again and talk specifically about something. We
Yes.
gave a general idea, touching things from here and there.
Hey, we would love that.
And I'd love that
It's
too.
fun. Perfect. Thank you so much for being with me, with us, and sharing your insights.
Thank you
And
from my heart from being here. I love you very, very much. You
I
know
love you
that.
very much too, my dear friend. Oh, that's a good side of astrology and having
Yes.
colleagues. See you later, my friend.